Alright guys, so long enough time coming, right? Been diving into some more of the testing. You've seen some of that with the individual lithium cells. But I've got the silicate salt batteries I kind of teased a little bit back that came off of our houseboat that I really needed to kind of play with them and see what we've got going on, see what kind of capacity we're running and what's going on with them. They might be dead. I'm really hoping they're not, but they might be. So, that being said, we are finally to the point where we're beginning testing. So let me show you what we got going on. These are the 3 silicate salt batteries that I've got to test and make sure of their condition, really. So, how I'm starting this testing is going to be just kind of winging it with what I've got, you know. So, right here, you can see I've got my battery charger terminals on here, and my battery charger is right there, and it's going over there. I'll show you that in a second, but I don't want to spoil that just yet. And then I've taken the leads of my battery tester here and just plugged it in, so all I have to do is turn this on and check it. This battery is just about to a state of full charge. I think it goes up to 14.2 and then it shuts off. So once it shuts off on its own, then we can begin our draw test. For now, I have probably not the overall best equipment of testing this, especially since these are kind of larger capacity batteries. The iMax B6, the iMax B6 could definitely give us a capacitance reading on it. And I have used it before for some of my lithium cells, but let me show you what I have decided I'm going to do. It's not scientific down to the exact measurement, but it should be effective and it should work pretty well. This right here on top is a 12-volt electric heater that I actually salvaged. A buddy was going to throw away because it stopped working, and it turned out that there was a broken wire connection back there. I took it apart, fixed it, and it works beautifully. At this exact moment, this is probably the best power draw option I have, given the current circumstances and the mess I'm working around. So, why is it on this battery? Well, this is not the same battery you guys have seen before. This is actually another one that I am probably going to buy right now. I'm capacity testing it. It's another one of those great deals that came along. I had a friend that is kind of in need to get it moving, and he knows I love this stuff, so he came over and is making me a deal. So at the exact moment, this is my first capacity test. The heater right here, my garage gets nice and cold, and I don't know that it'll make much of a difference, but I can, you know, direct this in the area that I'm working on when I'm out here working, and just keep the chill off. So for the foreseeable future, this is my temporary capacity test rig. So back to this. It pulls consistently right under 13 amps. I think it came out to 149 to 150 watts, so it's about 12.4 to 12.5 amps consistently. So this battery, I actually just took it off the charger maybe an hour ago, and then I hooked this guy up and started a timer. So you can see it says full battery right here. So yeah, we got a full battery still and rated capacity, and I set this timer for 2 hours to come back and check on it, because the first 2 hours I wasn't too worried about it. So we're at 48 minutes of runtime, and at the end I'll go ahead and go through and calculate my actual consumption. But being a used battery, he's brought me 2 others, the guy that I bought this from, or that I'm buying this from. He's brought me 2 others in the past, and I actually used my iMax B6, and it took several days to capacity test. And in fact, the first time I had multiple issues and I had to break it up into multiple part testing. This is a much, much, much faster process, since the iMax can only discharge it at a rate of about 2 amps, and this is 12.5. So I mean, right there, we're already 5 times faster. So at 2 amps, or at 2 hours, when my alarm goes off here, when that alarm goes off, 2 hours, we're sitting at approximately 24.5, 25 amp hours. At which point I'll come out, well, I'll probably restart my timer, and then I'll come out and check this and probably write it down, graph it. And so long as this battery pulls close to its rated capacity, I'm not super concerned about it. It's the UT1200, so it's not Lion's latest, but that's fine. For the price, it is worth every penny as long as it gets close to that rated capacity. And if you've seen some of my other stuff, you know Lion takes great care of their customers, and I am super happy to be working with their products, and I absolutely love them. So that is how we are going to test those silicate batteries that we were just talking about. In the midst of the mess, I showed you the battery charger going over there to the silicate batteries just on the other side of these boxes. And I said I'd show you this over here in just a second. All right, so probably going to get a little bit of hate just because it's a temporary setup and the way I've set it up. Oh, that's dangerous, that's stupid, yada, whatever, I don't care. Because it's literally a super temporary setup, and I will be ever modifying it, and this is just kind of a quick be able to tear it apart and break it down, whatever, move it around until I find more of my permanent setup and I get ready to have a simpler test rig setup. That battery charger that is going to be charging up all of my batteries. Now mind you, that one right there is a 3 amp charger. Super slow, nothing big, I'm not super concerned about it. I've got a 1 amp charger here, and I also have I believe it's up to 20 amps, and it's a smart charger, so it'll regulate that as it needs to. I'm not super concerned about charging speed because at this point the biggest problem I have is capacity, and I've got plenty of time to let this stuff do its thing, and we'll go through and play with it as the time goes. But instead of drawing off of the grid to do all my testing, I decided I already have the equipment and it's time to start testing and playing with it. So let me show you what I've done. All right, you see she's lit up and she's running. Again, temporary, but that right there is hooked up to my battery charger here. It's also got a cell phone charger on it, but those are my 2 small battery chargers for 12 volt. So the one's a 1 amp, the other one's the 3 amp over here. Again, forgive the mess. Now the part that I'm gonna get tons of hate for, my battery bank. Again, like I said, this is very temporary. This is more or less just to start using it. I have not found my lugs yet to crimp on to the end of these wires that I have going in here, these 4-gauge wires. So don't hate me. I know it's less than efficient and it's less than the safest solution. However, I'm the only one who works in this area, so I kind of don't really care because I'm the only one who messes with this, touches this, anything. And I've taken some basic precautions. I've got a foam sheet here as an insulator for starting. And that's what this is resting on. And yes, I see that. I will take care of that right now. But then additionally, I also have my foam sheet over here and a piece of cardboard. And just so you know, there's lots of clearance here. It's not about to touch the frame of that. This doesn't move. There's no shaking. There's no moving. This is very stable. So you can go ahead and give your hate. It's temporary. I am out here multiple times a day in this area checking on this stuff, playing with this stuff, so I don't really care how you feel about it. That's just how it is, and it's getting tested. That is the current setup there. So figured why would I charge all these batteries and do all this testing and pay for the energy to use it when I have this stuff here? Might as well start playing with it, right? And that's kind of the point of this, is you guys can kind of see the hacks. And there's the battery equalizer from previous video. Thank you, Ian, over at Watts 24/7. Your help has been absolutely priceless. So, how am I charging this? I have those Trina 250 watt solar panels that I don't know that I've shown you or not, but I think I have. Regardless, let me show you what I've done. You can see I had an old extension cord and it was outdoor rated, so I figured, you know what, for the time being, let's go ahead and use that. I believe I showed in a previous video that that's just kind of run out along the shelf and then down and out with my other stuff. So let me take you outside and see our temporary setup out there. All right, so this is our temporary setup. It took maybe a couple hours the other day, and I put 2 of these Trina 250 watt panels on top of this trailer and then just took them up in series, because part of what I want to do is start testing these and see what the wattage output actually is on these. I'm not in the best setup just yet, and it's very temporary. I've still got stuff in there that I got to take out, and then I was actually going to set the trailer up and tilt it more towards the sun. So I just took these 2 panels, seriesed them together, and ran them in to the Growatt. The additional plans for this trailer is I've already actually started sourcing all my materials and making my measurements. I'm going to put a frame section here and reinforce it here. So this is attached at the back, in the middle, and in the front, but I don't want to hang a panel off the side or put any weight on those panels. So I'm going to put a support beam here that will take the load, take the weight of anything additional, but it also acts as extra support for these panels. So I'll do one on this side with a support beam and a hinge, and then I'm going to do a panel right here, and then do the same thing on the other side and a panel there. Now, I've given quite a bit of thought to what I want to do with this, because I feel like these panels are probably going to be more efficient in the event that I can run them in series, because I get the higher voltage, so I am pushing less amperage through the wiring that runs into that guy back there. So if I can have them in series, awesome. However, if you don't know anything about solar panels, your series string is only as good as your weakest panel in line. So if you have one panel that's shaded, not getting very much sun, and it's operating at 20% efficiency, well, all of your panels are operating at 20% efficiency. So that's where the hinge comes in. So right now, if I have a panel just laying on its side on this side and laying on its side on the other side, well, that's not going to be efficient, because this one will get sun in the morning, and then those 2 will get sun all day, and the other one will get sun in the evening, and I'm losing efficiency the whole time, right? So I have already begun designing a switchboard that I'm going to put these on. So these 2 panels on top are going to be series connected together into a board that will go into a couple switches. Now, the panel on this side and the panel on the other side will be series together as well, and they'll also go into that board. Well, what that's going to do for us is that board that I am designing is going to have 2 options. It's going to have series option and parallel option. So in parallel, I will be able to isolate these 2 side panels out and not use them at all, or I can use them in parallel with these and have all of them running twice the amperage at the lower voltage. But if I've got it set up and I want to, then I can just flip those switches and I have series operation. And then I get the higher efficiency factor of being able to run that extra power through that same wire on the lower amperage side versus the higher amperage side on the lower voltage side. So stay tuned. All of that stuff is coming. And if you got any questions or comments or anything, drop them down there below the video. Definitely hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification on your subscription, so that way it lets you know anytime I upload new videos. All right, guys, until next time, have a good one.